A legal case fighting to give Parliament the right to decide when Brexit is triggered has been described as a special kind of arrogance.
If you think for one single second that I am not serious about doing what it takes to protect Scotland's interests, then think again.
First Minister Nicola Sturgeon stands up to Westminster, saying that Scotland will not be dragged out of the single market because of Brexit without consequences. We'll be getting live reaction from an SNP MP, Dr Paul Monaghan, shortly. Well, joining me now for more on all of this is SNP MP Dr Paul Monaghan for Caithness, Sutherland and Easter Ross. Dr Monaghan, does this then really mean that a second vote on independence is likely, despite, of course, the last one being described as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?
Well, good evening. I think it's an interesting debate. I think another referendum is not Scotland's starting point. I think the First Minister has been very clear about that. What the Scottish National Party wants to do is first and foremost protect the interests of the Scottish people and the Scottish economy. If that ultimately means that the only way to achieve that is through another independence referendum and the people of Scotland reclaiming our right to self-determine our future, then that will be what happens, and the First Minister has been very clear on that. But
all this talk of a referendum is actually causing more uncertainty, and the SNP have been accused of actually making the Scottish economy even more fragile as a result of all of that.
I think that's scare stories, to be absolutely blunt. I think the UK government's figures are the real issue that we need to be focused on. Leaked documents this week make it absolutely clear that the Treasury itself identifies that Brexit, a hard Brexit, could cost the UK economy £66 billion. In Scotland, what that means in practice is the loss of up to 80,000 jobs. That's the issue, and that's what we really need to protect ourselves against.
But as you say, of course, the main issue is this so-called hard Brexit and lack of access to the single market, but nothing has actually been decided yet, and the government says we won't, of course, be members of the single market, but still they want to maintain we will have access to it. Indeed, Sir David Amess a little earlier was saying without a doubt European countries will want to be trading with us, including Scotland. So SNP is really jumping the gun over the single market issue.
No, I don't think the SNP is jumping the gun. I mean, I think colleagues in Europe are being very clear that if the UK wants to leave the European Union, then it leaves the European Union. After it leaves the European Union, then trade deals will be negotiated. Sir David Amess and people like him appear to want their cake and be able to eat it. I think it's quite clear that the trade deals that might be in prospect are just that. They are a prospect, and the position of the Tory government at this particular point in time is to leave the European Union and to leave the single market. And that's wrong, and it's wrong because in the last general election, the Tories had in their manifesto that the single market was something that they wanted to retain and it was important to the UK economy. Just a few months later, we find out that the UK is quite happy to leave the European Union and to leave the single market.
And it's absolutely clear to you that those in Scotland really want to be under Brussels rule rather than Westminster?
What the people of Scotland want, and they voted very clearly for it on the 23rd of June, was to remain EU citizens. We wanted to retain our access to the single market, and we wanted to retain all of the opportunities that we derive from the free movement of people. That's what we want. It's not a case of being ruled by Brussels. It's about the people of Scotland being a valued partner to other nations in the world and a voice of reason in the world.
Dr Paul Monaghan, great to talk to you tonight. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.